Welcome to another episode of Fast Start Conversations, where we talk to those shaping our industry. And I have the pleasure today of interviewing Tamer Habib. We're actually here live at the Amora Hotel. We are sitting up in the executive lounge. So it's a pleasure to be here live, and thank you so much for your hospitality, Tamer.
Thank you, Brandon, and thanks for having me today.
Fantastic. What I'll do, Tamer, is I'll start off by reading your bio so our audience has a background on who you are, and then we'll get into some questions just to get to know you a little bit better. And then we also talk about, what we think the industry might look like in 10 years' time. So Tamer Habib is a highly impactful hospitality leader, and he's currently the Chief Operating Officer at Amora Hotels and Resorts, where he oversees the strategic operations and business growth for the group. With a career spanning more than 25 years, Tamer has established a reputation as a specialist in navigating highly competitive, fast-paced environments. His journey is a testament to professional resilience and adaptability, having successfully re-established his career here in the Australian market in 2009 after a decade of foundational experience in the luxury hospitality sector in Egypt. Tamer's expertise is built on a comprehensive, hands-on understanding of hotel operations, having risen through the ranks of global giants like Starwood, IHG and Hyatt. Before his current C-suite role, he spent nearly 9 years with Stanford Hotels and Resorts, where he progressed from Rooms Division Manager to Vice President of Operations. This diverse background, which includes significant experience in revenue management and food and beverage, allows him to uniquely analyse critical business requirements and identify potential opportunities that others might miss. As a leader, Tamer is known for his ability to develop innovative, cost-effective solutions that enhance competitiveness while maintaining a relentless focus on the guest experience. He has a proven track record of leading diverse teams to new levels of success, consistently increasing revenues and improving service offerings across multiple hotel brands. His transition from assistant manager at Regis World Square to Chief Operating Officer in under 15 years within the Australian hospitality industry highlights his status as one of the region's most effective and forward-thinking hospitality executives. So welcome again, Tamer.
Thank you, and welcome to Amora Hotels and Resorts in Sydney.
Thank you. That's we'll get into your story as we ask the questions, but that's a very impressive background. Tamer, the first question I always like to ask is the origin story. So you started in Cairo with global hotel brands like IHG, Le Méridien, Hyatt and Starwood. Was hospitality a conscious decision for you? Is that, because some people I interview, it was a part-time job that they got into whilst at university and it became their career. What was in your case?
No, absolutely. It's a very conscious decision for me to join the hospitality industry. Back in Egypt, in order to join hospitality or the Faculty of Tourism and Hotel Management, you need to get in your high school above 90%.
Wow.
Yes, and not only this, you need to be fluent in 2 to 3 languages in order to join. And even if your score qualified you to go to hospitality industry, there is an internal interview. There is a panel from expertise. They look at you, your appearance, your presentations, your communication skills, and too many other factors. And if you failed during this interview, you will not be able to join. So it's Cairo and Egypt in particular is highly competitive in terms of hospitality industry, and not anyone can join this career back in Cairo. So I was fortunate enough to get above 90% in high school.
Wow.
I passed the exams for hospitality in industry or the uni. And I actually, in my last year, I qualified to teach in the uni. I tried this for a couple of months, but I didn't like it. It was not my cup of tea.
Yep.
And after this, I joined the practical life. So my first job was receptionist at Le Méridien Hotel back in Cairo.
Interesting. And is it still the case today that there's such a high bar to get into the hospitality industry?
It's still high bar. It's still until now, and but now a little bit different because if you didn't manage to get the high marks, you can go private. So you need to pay money and you need to join.
Yeah.
But still, it's still one of most competitive unis in Egypt.
And tourism is such a big part of Egypt's economy, so I can understand why.
Yeah,
the government
I would say 60% of Egyptian economy relies on hospitality. That's why they're taking this approach.
And there's some lovely hotels.
Absolutely.
Having been to, I think the Four Seasons Cairo was probably one of the hotels I was just loved it.
No, Egypt fortune with all the five-star brands over there. It was the most luxurious brands, and yeah, it's everywhere now. So yeah,
nice.
Very good hotels in Egypt.
Lovely. So you moved to Australia in 2009 and effectively restarted your career at Regis World Square. Is there a specific, because I remember talking to you about it, that was, you came here not having a role in hospitality. Yeah. Was that a pivotal point where you thought, I could, do I continue in hotels? Do I do something else? What drew you back into the industry?
To be quite honest, my passion was and still hospitality. So I was very determined to continue my career in hospitality, even though my last position back in Cairo was director of rooms. When I came to Egypt, it was 2009 and was during the GFC. Yeah. Not too many positions available, very hard to get into the workforce in Sydney in particular, and I still just trying my luck, and I've been applying for jobs, and until I landed the duty manager position back in Regis World Square Hotel, and I thought in life sometimes you need to take one step back to take two steps forward. So yeah, that's what happened with me, and I started my journey with hospitality in Australia at Regis World Square in the capacity of duty manager.
Interesting. Okay, that's a decent sized hotel.
Yeah, it was actually very busy hotel, 580 plus rooms. We used to call it, it's not a hotel, it's a town hall, train stations. Too many people in and out, so yeah, very busy environment.
Yeah, it is a busy hotel. From the front desk to chief operating officer, you've held almost every title in the hotel. Is there a mentor from the early part of your career that inspired you and is sort of given you advice that has stayed with you throughout your career? There may be more than one, it generally is, of course.
Yes, the one that stands out for me was the general manager I used to work with back in Cairo, and told me, and this is really stuck in my mind until now, said working in hospitality is a triangle. One angle skills, which we can give you. Yep. Other angle experience. If you don't have it, we still can give it to you. Yeah. And the base is the attitude. If you don't have it, we cannot give it to you. Yeah. Yeah. So, and until this point, this statement stuck in my mind, and in Amora, I use this triangle in all my career. And in Amora, for example, we train for skill and we have for attitude. Yep. So this is quite important that you have the right attitude in order to step the ladder in the hospitality industry.
That's a great analogy. I've never heard it described as a triangle. Certainly hiring for attitude, and then I've always done that as well. And I understand the concept that you can teach skills, but I also think I love the analogy that the base is your attitude. Absolutely. So if you don't have that,
we cannot teach you.
Then we cannot, we cannot actually create the triangle. That's great. So I want to ask about the off-duty Tamer. So we see the polished COO of Amora Hotels. What is something that your current executive team might be surprised to hear that you've got an after-work passion, a hobby or something? You don't have to have one, but some people have.
No, I can share with you. Yeah. I like soccer. I watch football. Yep. I following the Premier League in England. Yep. So this is one of my passion. Sometimes the games due to some difference come 2-3 o'clock in the morning. I wake up and
really,
okay. In the important matches only. Yeah. And I watch. So this is something really I look forward to watch all the time.
Did you play soccer growing up?
I did actually back in my country. Actually, I joined one of the most famous soccer clubs back in Egypt, called Zamali. It's one of the most famous sports club in Egypt.
There you go.
Yeah, and until high school, and after this, my dad just focus on your study. You need to get the high marks to get to the hospitality industry, which is my passion. So that's why I quit the football career and I focus on hospitality career.
I love it, but it's still a passion.
Yes, absolutely.
It's still a passion. I always then like to ask, as you've navigated different cultures and corporate structures, Is there another piece of advice that you were given early on in your career that sort of helped you stay the course, and something that you pass on to others as you're mentoring them?
Yes, actually, one of my mentors, actually here in Australia, he told me in order to grow in your career, you must have the 3 Ds.
Okay.
Which is discipline, determination, and dedications. And this is actually a reason with me quite well, because if you have the right disciplines and the passion and the dedications to do what you like to do, I believe eventually your hard work will pay off.
Yeah.
So I think have the 3 Ds, discipline, determinations, dedications. This is something I would pass on to the younger generations if they would like to pursue the career in the hospitality industry.
Yeah, I like that. That's some good advice.
Thank you.
Looking, I suppose, ahead at trends and what's going on in the industry, talking big picture, hopefully not apart from what's going on in the Middle East at the moment, but is there an emerging trend that's making you excited or potentially making you a little bit nervous? It could be a technology trend. It could be, the staffing issues that we have here in the Australian market.
No, I would say the AI, because AI starts shaping the hospitality industry, particularly the hotels.
Yeah.
As we speak, I believe the hotels moved from the exploring stage of the AI to the execution stage of the AI. So AI, it gets involved in every part of the business now in hotels. You can find it in digital marketing, in revenue management, in housekeeping, even when it comes to guest communications. We use it before guest stays and after guest depart. So I strongly believe the hotel that's going to master the usage of AI in the future. I think they will do pretty well in the long run.
Do you have a concern that we need to be careful? Because we are a people-first industry.
Absolutely. Whilst the AI can give you efficiency, cost savings, but it's missing the personal touch, which hospitality relying on. You cannot run hospitality without the human element. You can still use it to make your business more efficient, more productive, but we cannot ignore the human touch.
Of course.
So this is technology is good, but until a certain point, but not in a way it replaces a human being. So this is what I believe.
I would agree with you, and I think if we use technology appropriately, it should actually give a staff member time to actually interact more with the guests. Now, let's face it, nobody goes into the hospitality industry because they want to key data into Opera.
Absolutely.
They have a passion for helping people and serving people.
Absolutely.
And I think if you can streamline the check-in process, for example, so that when a person arrives at the front desk, it's actual eye contact and a conversation rather than the traditional approach.
It is this smile, eye contact, use the guest names, and all these fundamentals. It's very important, makes such a big difference. We could use AI to make the process more efficient, more speed, but without ignoring the human factor.
And we need to be careful. I'll do a shout out. I was on a call the other day, and it was Grant Altram. He was talking about mashed potato, and he said, we need to be careful we don't have a mashed potato situation. So, what are you talking about? And he said, well, when he was the general manager of a hotel, mashed potatoes, we suddenly got to the point where mashed potatoes come in a bag now, right? And so one day the bag of mashed potatoes didn't arrive, and the apprentices actually didn't know how to make mashed potatoes from scratch. Right. So he said, I think with any technology, we also need to be careful that we don't skim over those foundations.
Absolutely.
And that the staff still know if for some reason the AI stops working or heaven forbid the PMS is not working, we can still interact with the guests.
We can still run. Absolutely. It will take Grant.
It was. I thought it was a really interesting analogy, and I've heard similar stories. I mean, Patrick Griffin, when he was at the Observatory Hotel, told me one day that the point of sale stopped working, And they said to the team, "We're going to have to write orders on paper." And they're like, "What do you mean?" And he said, "Well, you get a piece of paper and you ask the guests what they want, and you write it down, and then you go to the kitchen and they're like, oh my gosh." Because, well, yeah, before computers, people, I suppose didn't realize some of the processes we had to go through.
The world is evolving, and we need to be consistent with what's happening in the world.
Yes.
But in a way, we do not forget our roots.
Yes.
The root of hospitality is simply human factors, a human touch.
Yep.
So I still believe in this, and I will be a big advocate that this human element hotels cannot run itself with technology.
No.
As simple as this.
And if they do, then what is the point of differentiation? If every hotel is sort of automated it's just a box,
absolutely,
then, and we've already, I know off on track a little bit, we've already seen that a little bit. We have a number of lifestyle brands coming along, right? Because people don't want the McDonald's hotel. They want to be different. They want to come to Sydney and they want to experience Sydney rather than going to an American branded hotel, which could be in New York, it could be anywhere, and you don't really know the difference until you open the window.
Absolutely.
See.
I can share with you a life experience just happened last a couple of weeks.
Yes.
We opened our new lifestyle brand. It's called Amora Hotels in Melbourne.
Yep.
So the story of this hotel, because the focus on this hotel, it is a sense of place. This hotel was the first train depot in 1885 in Richmond area.
Yes.
And in order to emphasize this concept, we just we have a heritage wall inside the hotel, and in this heritage wall we start putting some photo for the first crew was operating this depot.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And we start making like museum.
Yes.
We have all this photo frame with a plaque and with some descriptions, and we work closely with the train department in Richmond, and they give us some elements of the old trains, and even we have some carts, and we build the concept around the sense of place.
Love it.
And guess what? People come not looking to the technology. And I just really wanted to have the storytelling of the hotel, and they were quite amazed of the concept that we brought together.
Yeah.
So this is another example that technology cannot do it all.
Yes.
The human element has to be there in order to be working in the hospitality industry.
Yep. And I think history and culture now, I think as people, we're much more diverse and we like to experience different things. So I love that example. From a technology point of view, you've got a background in revenue management or rooms division. What's been your biggest personal lesson when it comes to implementing technology? Has there been an example of one of the things I always often say is you can have the world's best technology, but if you don't bring the team along for the ride, or you don't actually bring the guests along, it doesn't really matter how good the technology is. I think we forget that. I think AI, it's going to be the same. We can introduce AI, but if the team are not comfortable and we don't bring them along the journey.
Yeah, I can give you a life experience example for this. When we start introducing IDS is the revenue management tool.
Yep.
So IDS has the ability to change the rates 3 to 4 times a day. So when it first started, there was concern for the revenue manager could be made redundant.
Of course.
And this technology can take over the jobs. However, when we introduced this technology, it was important we have quite efficient revenue manager in order to implement these tools to get the optimal yielding for the hotel. So yes, technology is good, but you still need someone to direct this technology. At the beginning, the hotels reliant on just IDS system without have someone monitor this system went to pear-shaped. I can tell you this. And because IDS work on a very complex system, work on too many trends, historical data, forecasts, etc., but it still cannot read the market intelligence. It cannot read there is a war in Middle East and impacting in Australia, for example, at this point. So you need still someone who's able to feed the ideas with the right information in order to get the results.
Yep. And that's just another case where we're saying, obviously, as much as we put technology into our hotels, the human element with the experience is still important.
It's quite important.
Yeah.
It's quite important.
Yeah, definitely. If we were to look ahead a decade, Tamer, what do you think the Amora experience will look like?
Very good questions.
It could be the industry as a whole. I mean, where do you think we're heading, in 2036?
I think we are heading to more automation.
Yep.
I think the industry became heavily involved in systems in place, and you can see this in all functions of the hotel, whether it's rooms, divisions, food and beverage, and marketing, and housekeeping, everywhere. So in 10 years' time, hotels will go for more automatizations, and technology will have a prominent effect on the hotel performance. And as a hospitality leaders, we need to watch the space. It's a bit scary because you never know what's going to evolve in the future. So we just need to watch this space, but I think technology will be more prominent in the hospitality industry.
Definitely. And there's always two schools of thought. I was talking to someone recently who said, a general manager will be able to get away from their desk and spend more time with the guests. Going back to, probably in the 70s and 60s, general managers would probably spend 50-60% of their time walking about, talking to the team, talking to the guests. And what we've seen over, the last couple of decades is more desk work really put onto a general manager. So they're actually, unfortunately, not spending as much time with the team, not spending as much time with the desk. They've become, responsible for a lot of reporting. Hopefully, with automation, we can get them.
Absolutely, it's just a free as an admin side of things, and give you more time to spend on improving your customer service, your interaction with the guest, with your staff. It's all quite important in our industry.
I agree. Given your unique perspective across two different global regions, what is your ultimate hope for our industry? What would you like to see the hospitality industry become? Or
very good questions, Brendan.
One of my concerns, to be honest, Tamer, I suppose, certainly here in the Australian market, when I started hospitality, it wasn't quite as stringent as it was in Egypt, but hospitality was the place to be. It was the industry to get into. It was in the late 80s. We had the Japanese, owning half of Queensland. Tourism was a really big thing, and it was exciting to be in the industry. I think, unfortunately, we've lost that in the Australian market. And one of my concerns is, how do we, and this is the purpose of this podcast, really, how do we get people excited about hospitality and get them to understand that it's a career? It's not just something you do, whilst you're going to university. It can be a lifetime job. And, people like yourself are testament. You've moved countries, you've re-established yourself. You're chief operating officer for, a brand with hotels in Thailand, Australia, New Zealand. You're growing the market. It's an industry.
Absolutely.
It's a career.
What I can say in this aspect, Brendan, is hospitality is international language, which means if you have this skill to work in the hospitality industry, you can go anywhere in the world and you'll be able to function the same. Classic example was me when I studied hospitality back in Egypt and working hotels. Hotels are same everywhere.
Yes.
So it's unlike in other industry, like medicine, for example. If you would like to move from another country to country, you need to come here and you need to restudy and you need to do certain subjects in order to qualify.
Yes.
But hospitality is not.
Yep.
So this is international language. We all speak the same language when it comes to hospitality. I always say it is a people industry. And our job as a leader is to encourage the young generations, explain how exciting, how passionate this industry is. And we'll start giving them the avenues to perform the job to their best ability. But also, Brandon, we would like to address one important component for the young generations, because let's be realistic. People work for two reasons. One, monetary incentive, and the other one for career growth. Hospitality industry is not the high-paying industry.
True.
So our role is to try to push for these young generations in order to get a decent salary, especially in Australia. I can tell you in other countries, the people who work in the hospitality industry, they get paid well. That's why it's enticing for other countries to get these skilled people to work in this particular industry. However, in Australia, they're not the high-paying guests, and we ask them to stand on their feet 8 hours every day. We ask them for good presentation skills, we ask them for good communication skills, and eventually we're not paying well. So I think, yes, 100%. You don't have your weekends, you don't have your Christmas, your Easter, you have to work. So I think, in my point of view, this should be remunerated and compensated accordingly in order to retain these young generations to work in the hospitality industry. This is the way I look into things.
Well, that's a great point. Because we do ask a lot.
Absolutely. During the interview, you need good presentation skills, good communication skills. You know, someone able to work 24/7. You know, someone able to work in the weekends. In return, what we offer. So this should be balanced.
And as you said, social skills are very important in our industry, and I hate to say it, but I think the younger generation have lost some of those skills because they communicate via screen. I've had general managers say to me, when they've been interviewing people, "Did you talk to your parents at dinner?" Or because having a conversation.
Everyone is busy.
It's a little bit difficult.
Absolutely. Even I see this with my daughter as well. So most of the time on the screen time is quite ridiculous. Like I was checking the other day, her screen time, it is 8 hours.
Wow.
When you study, when you eat, when you do your exercise. You know what I mean? So
I know if I want my son to come for dinner, it's send a message. It's better than yelling. Because he doesn't answer you when you yell, but if you send a text message, okay, give a thumbs up, I'm coming. It's crazy.
Interesting.
So we've talked about, obviously, the triangle, which I love, and we've talked about the 3 Ds. What other advice, Tamer, would you give to somebody who's considering a career in hospitality or just starting? What are some, obviously the 3 Ds and the triangle are absolutely fantastic. From a personal point of view, what would you?
I would tell them the life is not fairy tale anymore.
Okay.
You need to work hard. You need to be disciplined. You need to be consistent on to pursue your career goals. And I will get back to the most important element of the triangle, which is attitude. Has a positive attitude, has the right attitude, and this eventually will get you to where you want to be.
I love it. Tamer, thank you so much for the conversation today and for the experience at the Amora Hotel.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much, Brendan.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.